Now, just a little warning before we begin that there will be spoilers in this video for the 5th episode of Hawkeye, so if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want anything ruined, it is a really good time to click away. Alright, so what did you think of this episode of Hawkeye?
I liked it. I've liked this whole series so far. I like watching Clint deal with his demons, or at least attempting to start to deal with his demons. I really loved the return of Yelena. I kind of forgot because I think I have a blackout of the Black Widow movie.
A blackout of the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, I think I blacked most of it out, but I forgot how much I enjoyed Yelena.
Her kind of dry sense of humor in a way.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
Speaking of that, I agree. I've enjoyed the series. I know I keep saying that every week. I've enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Wasn't exactly, looking forward to it. So I think that's why maybe it's even been better than I thought. Do you think bringing Yelena in here does make sense? I keep feeling like she's just kind of we started like these first 3 episodes was really about Hawkeye and Kate and kind of this fun relationship, but serious at the same time. Obviously, it's not total lighthearted humor here, but quite a bit of that. And now I feel like this episode was just really kind of devoid of any humor, devoid of the original kind of feeling, which is not necessarily a bad thing, mind you. It had a way different tone to it than the first 3 episodes. And like I said, I kind of feel weird that we bring Yelena in kind of in, the middle of the series. And
it felt like a short episode and Hawkeye was barely in it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like the backbone of the show for me has been that Hawkeye kind of Kate relationship, and it's been Hawkeye, exploring Hawkeye and him coming to terms with some of the things he's done, like you talked about.
Right.
And this episode, it kind of like, we're going to now bring in Yelena, we're going to bring in this whole other element, and it just kind of felt, I don't know, a little strange.
Well, what's strange is that they're bringing so much in a sense.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that we thought it was all going to be the drama with the mystery stuff going on with Kate, plus him trying to cover up Ronan.
Yeah, with Echo. So
we've brought in this whole Black Widow Yelena plot that was carried over from the Black Widow movie. Disney is assuming you have all watched it. And,
well, that is... I don't so much have a there's good and bad with the idea that it's kind of this continuous linear story where if you haven't seen the previous part, whether that be in a series or a movie, you might not completely understand something. I like and don't like that because as someone who does watch it all, obviously I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't mind the ringing in the background. That is a cat who's decided to chime in.
It's a kitten.
A kitten, yes. Now we have 2 cats. But anyway, I like and dislike the idea that, you do have to keep up with everything. Otherwise, you'd be like, who's Yelena? What is this all about now?
But at the same time, isn't this something that fans have been clamoring for?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As a fan, I like it. I'm saying the general audience, do they get frustrated? I don't think so because everybody keeps watching Marvel. It's not like... Right,
and how much general audience... even throwing Yelena in, they gave you enough of an explanation to get by.
They did, yeah.
Black Widow's sister, was brainwashed, now not brainwashed.
Yeah.
Has a relationship with her sister. They gave you... ring.
Yes, the opening really...
enough.
The opening kind of sets it up enough. It's kind of like a brief recap of the Black Widow movie. The opening, first 5 minutes is kind of the, okay, you can get the gist of what the Black Widow movie was about there.
I think that's what they do, Marvel. They kind of give you just enough information that you can go... You'd be okay if you hadn't watched Black Widow to understand what Yelena's doing.
At least I think, because... obviously we've seen it, so it's hard to know what someone who hasn't thinks of that opening scene. Are they just like, what is this all about? Or did they kind of get, like I said, did they get the gist out of it?
Well, and another point of interest is this episode went into who hired Yelena, who hired her. And we found out, it's Kate's mom.
Yeah, which Kate's no surprise.
Mom,
as soon as the guy got arrested, I'm like, it's clearly he's innocent. He truly is.
Well, I told you that last episode. I was like,
we talked about that.
Bad.
We talked about in the last review that the mother is probably bad, and that it's all a setup. Yeah.
When we saw that the mother works with Kingpin,
yay! No surprise there.
But then we should also consider Madam Hydra, the one she spoke with at Black Widow's grave.
Yeah.
In a sense, obviously, I've connected her with Kingpin and Kate's mom, whose name I forgot again. There was like Ellen, Eleanor.
It might have been Eleanor, Kate's mom.
Yeah, so that is kind of defining that they're setting up some bad stuff.
Yeah.
We know that U.S. agents connected to that, too.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing with Marvel. Every time you get a resolution, you get the next step as well. There's never... It's a continuous, whether you like it or not, and I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you are interested in it and like it. It's just it's the never-ending story. That's what I think of Marvel as.
Well, that's why if you don't want a thing to continue, you can't watch the post-credits. You just have to stop and go, that was the end.
Yeah, if you ever plan on, like, I'm done with Marvel, don't watch the post-credits scene, because that's all they are. They're just to set up the next step.
Right, I mean, think about it. If we would have watched that first Marvel movie, the first Avengers, if you didn't watch those post-credit scenes and they're like, Earth, we're to go after Earth is courting death. With
Very
Thanos,
well. Yes, it sounded just like him.
Shut up. But if we hadn't gotten that, if we hadn't watched that, that would have just been, look, that's the end of the movie.
That's it.
Where there's no breadcrumb.
Marvel is done. We had our Avengers.
Instead,
we can go home.
they are now the king of breadcrumbs, and every other movie you watch now, you're checking in advance. Is there a post-credit scene to... What are we watching again?
Yeah.
Yeah, is there a post-credit scene?
I do that before almost every movie we go. I mean, it's caught on so much that...
Sometimes you don't even bother to look up. If there's one, you're like, how many post-credit scenes?
That's what... I think it was Venom I looked at up. Is there one or two after this one? And,
Right. But nothing wrong with that. I mean...
No, I mean, if you like that...
It's fun to get excited and have something to look forward to in that respect.
You do wonder, and we've talked about doing a discussion. We want to call them aggressive negotiations, where we kind of debate in a video. We've talked about how long can Marvel keep doing this? And we started to talk about it, and that's when we kind of had this idea, like, well, maybe we should just do it in a video and let other people chime in.
Right.
But I think it's an interesting question.
I almost feel bad now that this is getting labeled, as the Hawkeye episode review when we're talking about anything else.
Well, yeah, but it all ties together. That's the thing with Marvel. It all is related.
It's a breadcrumb title?
Yeah. It's the ultimate breadcrumb, the never-ending story, the ultimate breadcrumb trail, whatever you want to call it. But that's what Marvel has become, whether you like it or not, and whether you think it's sustainable for another 5, 10, 20, or indefinitely, number of years.
Right. Back to
Hawkeye, yeah.
I saw the stuff with her mom coming. I like that they've kept going with our friendly New York firefighter / LARPer.
The LARPer, yeah.
He is pretty cool. I like the characters. I'm sad that I feel like Maya is underdeveloped, but I mean, all we've seen her as is angry.
She's very angry.
Angry.
And now she feels like, she knows she's been betrayed by...
And he might know, yeah.
Probably by the one she trusts the most, yeah.
Because Kingpin wanted to get rid of her father, and had one of his gang members tip off Ronan.
Yep.
Bunch of bad guys hiding out here. So now she has to evaluate things. So this is definitely setting up her having her own spin-off series.
Yeah, this is setting up her turn to the light side of the Force.
I'm very interested to see how Marvel sets up a hero who does not speak. So I'm interested to see where that goes. I want to know where they're going to leave Yelena. Very interested in knowing where they're going to leave her. Because they have one episode left. And there's a lot of loose ends here.
That's what I was saying. I felt it was kind of strange to bring her in kind of at the end of the third episode, at the midway point. And now here we are, or the fourth episode, excuse me. And now here we are, home stretch, and it's like, well, okay, now we confirmed Kingpin is here. Mm-hmm. We still have Maya.
Well, they can kind of drop her at this. I know it sounds weird, but they kind of finished her storyline with Hawkeye. She looks like she's going to leave him alone and go after her own organization. So that story could be resolved.
Well, it's not resolved, but where does it resolve?
In her show.
Okay.
They've done enough, I think, with her that if they didn't bring her in for the last episode,
do you think they go movie?
No, she's confirmed for a show. I thought.
Is she?
Yeah, it's called Echo.
Oh no, I was talking about Yelena.
No, Yelena. I want to know where she's going to end up. I mean, we know that she's bonding with Kate.
I'm saying, where is that resolution going to be with her and Hawkeye? Is that happening here? Because you introduced a huge threat to the character, the main title, character. Do you leave that hanging?
No, she kills him.
Maybe.
I don't think she will. I think she realizes she's been hired by bad people.
I think this is the swan song for Jeremy Renner as the character. I don't know that we ever see Hawkeye again.
Take that back.
Well, I'm not saying I don't like Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye or Jeremy Renner in general, but I don't think he's a character we're going to see again. And where would we see him next?
Everywhere.
But seriously,
that's the thing is we don't know Marvel's plan. I mean, just because they're not around doesn't mean they aren't going to be back for some reason. I mean, we're in a multiverse now. They could bring back Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man in the next movie and
Sure,
it would somehow make sense, and we'd all be like, yeah.
Theoretically, there's nothing they can't do. I'm just saying, I don't know that Jeremy Renner has too much more Hawkeye left in him. I don't know that he's going to want to do another series or a second.
Don't know how he feels about
We
personally.
don't, but that's just, I don't know, a gut instinct, I guess. And just the fact that, this is...
His character looks like it's resigned to wanting to be with his family.
Exactly. That feels like what we're trying to set up here with the character is a culmination or a resolution to his whole story. Like, okay, I dealt with the Ronin thing. I'm over my grief and pain with Natasha. I'm ready to just go home and live my life and be with my family. I think that's the way this, either that or he dies. Who knows?
No, they can't kill him. Honestly,
no, I don't think they will.
No, he's gonna get the ending, the hero's ending he deserves.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, the other thing you want to talk about, the other really cool aspect was the Yelena with the snap. Yeah, the blip, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know, I'll call it whatever. I change what I call it by the minute.
It's kind of funny how I never thought that. I never really thought what happened in the 5 years when you're gone. I mean, I didn't think you were going to be aware of it, but just seeing that it was like a snap, quite literally for them too, where they don't even realize they went anywhere.
Yeah, one minute she was standing there and looking in the mirror, the next the world just changed around her in her mind. I mean, that's so strange. I can't even imagine that. If I staring at something, the walls change color, things are, people are there that shouldn't be there, and
yeah, I mean, it looked like she saw herself kind of disintegrate. I mean, they were aware that they were disintegrating, I think, ish.
Yeah, well, a lot of people saw themselves. Remember Spider-Man? And
yeah, but
God, I can't get over Spider-Man. I'm sorry.
Don't
His spider sense went up and told him about the danger, and he could feel it before it even happened. How terrifying!
Well, yeah. What's interesting about that is she was completely alone, so she didn't. The others, a lot of the others saw other people disintegrate first, so they kind of had a. Well, they didn't know what was happening, but they saw what was happening, and so when they came back an instant later, they might not have known exactly what had happened, obviously, but they had an inkling that something had happened. Whereas she was. She went to the bathroom or whatever it was, and all of a sudden the walls changed colors, and she may have seen herself kind of start to disintegrate. We don't know exactly what she saw, but I thought that was interesting because I never really considered what it'd be like for the average.
I mean, the only other one we saw was when Monica, but she was asleep and opened her eyes to a different world.
Yeah, exactly. So we had yet to see someone just that full on the continuation of it from the moment they're gone to the moment they come back.
It was really cool to see. Perspective wise, I would definitely thought it was cool.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest parts of this episode because I thought the episode, like I said, I thought the episode was okay. I think it's kind of a little all over the place with the bringing her in, and now you're like, well, how many?
Part of the problem with bringing in another character like Yelena, who's obviously going to be an insta favorite.
Oh yeah, well, a favorite and also a big part of the MCU going forward. I mean, she's kind of Black Natasha's replacement ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of that because I think Kate Bishop seems to be Hawkeye's replacement.
They are kind of getting us used to the idea of a new group.
But yeah, I thought a good episode. I'm very curious to see what the finale does with all these kind of threads and storylines. I don't know what gets resolved, what's going to get passed down the line to the next show or the show after that or the movie or what.
Right.
But anyway, good series, solid episode. Curious to see what happens next.
Hopefully it has a solid ending.
I don't think we're going to get a really solid ending. But anyway, that's all we got for you this time. Now it's your turn to take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of this episode of Hawkeye. Tell us if you'd like to see some aggressive negotiations where we discuss the future of Marvel and, how long can this thing go? How long does the train keep chugging away before it runs out of steam?
Rabbit hole go?
There you go. Well, anyway, leave those comments below. And until next time, thanks for watching.